everybody. I'm really excited about getting Monday's Mary's Mini kicked off. It's a couple of groups that I'm working with this particular 10-day Mary's Mini. It starts on Monday and it goes through the following Wednesday. So Monday will be day 1, the following Wednesday will be day 10, and then you weigh yourself out on day 11, which is a Thursday. The way this works in the group is you don't send anything to anybody. You are keeping your own stats. This is something that we're doing for ourselves. Those of us who need to get some of the sugar, oil, and salt out of our system, it's a great way to do that. Other people who want to jumpstart a weight loss program, it's an excellent way to do that. Altogether, I'm down about 12 pounds. I lost 4 this last Mary's Mini. When I take the 4 days off in between, sometimes I'll gain about a pound, pound and a half. One time I gained 2 pounds, but I always lose more, so I'm moving in the right direction. Because I eat a plant-based diet, but sometimes I do engage in junk food that I'm not supposed to have, or eat too much of some of the things that I really, really love, which are plant-based, which I really don't need if I'm trying to lose weight, such as a whole bunch of bread or pasta and stuff like that. So when I discovered, I've heard about the Mary's Mini for a while now, but I never tried it. And then when I decided to give it a try, I got really, really excited with my first round, because I think the first round I lost close to 6 pounds, which was pretty cool for 10 days. And so it's definitely a program. It's a diet. It's not a lifestyle. Dr. McDougall's starch solution is what this is based off of. He also has a program called Maximum Weight Loss. That is not even as strict as a Mary's Mini. Again, as I said before, Mary is Dr. McDougall's wife. She's the one who came up with this, and her philosophy is if you get hungry, you're going to eat your starch, no matter how boring it might be. And she looks at this as something that's monotonous, something you're not just looking forward to food to eat. You eat to nourish your body and then move on with your day. And so the way that the Mary's Mini, the challenge, first of all, will work is if you want to participate starting on Monday, anytime during the day, I'm going to put a post up at the beginning of each day saying what the day is, and then just respond to that post. Respond to the post anytime during the day. Doesn't matter when. You can post a picture of your food. You can, talk about how your day went. We ask that you don't, if you mess up in the middle of the Mary's Mini, it is never a need for you to tell people. Just get back on it the next meal. That's all. Okay. So if you mess up, it's like, it's not over. You're on day 4 and then you eat something outside of the parameters of the Mary's Mini. You're not finished. Just at that very next meal, get back to protocol. That's how that works. You don't need to announce it in that thread or anything like this. No one has your weight. No one has your statistics. You're keeping your own information and you are following this for yourselves. That's how this works. And then when we get toward the end, like I said, every single day I'm going to put a post up. And that is the post that you can respond to. If you want to put something out in the groups, specifically for what's going on, your food or something you want to talk about, of course, that's always good because that's what these groups are for. But if you want to respond specifically about the Mary's Mini in a thread that a lot of people are going to be reading concerning the Mary's Mini, before I go to work or when I first wake up each morning, I'm going to put a post with the day 1 or day 2, and so we'll know how many days we're on. And remember, this is a 10-day program. If you are brand new to plant-based eating, or if you're trying to transition to vegan, we have some people in the group that are transitioning, so they're not completely vegan, or they're trying to be. This program will really help set your taste buds. It'll help set your taste buds. It'll, sort of get your body ready to accept a plant-based diet if that's where you want to go. Because a plant-based diet is what makes you healthy. That's what makes you healthy. When people follow a vegan diet, people follow a vegan diet for a variety of different reasons, usually for ethical purposes, for the animals and for the environment and things like that. But plant-based is for health. And so a lot of people are what we call plant-based vegans, and that's a term that's getting a little traction as well. So sometimes you might have a person who has been eating a vegan diet for a very long time, but has not really paid attention to, getting all of those fruit and getting all those vegetables and avoiding some of the processed food. There's a whole lot of processed food in the vegan world. And so a Mary's Mini is a great way to transition away from that and back more toward a healthy type of eating. I want to tell you a quick little story about, what plant-based eating has done for me. I don't have that kind of time, but I'll talk a little bit about it. I used to be sick. I used to be so sick. I was in a wheelchair many times, walked with a cane most of the last 12 years. I was in a, just stuff happened. It's a high rheumatoid factor, osteoarthritis. I've had 2 knee replacements, 2 ankle reconstructions. I've just had a lot of stuff. I've had some metabolic disorder issues, hypothyroid, which since going plant-based, it's actually now been upgraded to sluggish. But even with my sluggish thyroid, I am losing weight again on the Mary's Mini, and I don't lose weight very easily. I gain it fast, but I don't lose it very easily. And so with a plant-based diet, I have become extremely healthy. What made me decide to go plant-based was that I was told I was pre-diabetic, and I was like 1 or 2 percentage points away from being a diabetic. I was like 6.3 or 6.4, and a bona fide diabetic is the A1C of 6.5. So I was right there. So I started reading all kinds of stuff. I read the China study. Read it if you have not. It's also on audiobook now. I started reading Dr. Furman's books. I started reading Dr. McDougall's books, and a lot of the superstars in the plant-based world, and began following a plant-based diet immediately. I wish I would have known something about the Mary's Mini at the very beginning, because I sort of, floundered around in that world until I sort of figured out, what do I eat here, what do I eat there. But at the very beginning, the weight's going to come off. If you're new to plant-based eating or new to this world of eating, the weight's going to come off at the beginning, kind of fast actually. And if all you have are 20 pounds to lose, you might end up losing it with really no effort. I had more than 100 pounds to lose. And so at the beginning, I lost weight a lot, and it was nice, but then it slows down. Now I've got to work on it again, especially with my my metabolism. And so when I found this Mary's Mini, it was just kind of amazing how it causes me not to want to snack. That was one of my biggest downfalls, wanting to snack all the time with, processed food, junk. And I'm able to, not do that right now, which is kind of neat, I do miss my beans, my berries, my flaxseed, and my fruit. I miss that. So when I take my 4 days off from the Mary's Mini, then I get my fill of those things, those plant-based items that I don't get with the Mary's Mini, and then I'm going right back on Monday. This has become a really good weight loss program for me. 10 days on a Mary's Mini, 4 days on a plant-based regimen, my regular plant-based eating. And then during those 4 days, if I want to go out to eat, understanding anytime you go out, there may be some oil in some of your food. I can gain a little like that. But if I do decide to go out, it will be during those 4 days that I'm eating, plant-based. Rather than, and then some regular vegan food, rather than during the Mary's Mini. But we start again on Monday. So as far as what is involved, I wanted to tell y'all one more thing. I told you about me, not even tip of the iceberg with me, but just understand I used to be sick, and right now I take absolutely no medicine. None whatsoever. My blood pressure is wonderful. My triglycerides are awesome. And, my cholesterol is wonderful as well. I do take a vitamin D supplement because I'm low on D, always have been. And B12, people who eat a vegan diet or plant-based diet should just take a B12 supplement, because B12 is in the dirt, and when animals eat their food in the dirt, they're getting B12 in their bodies. So when people eat animals, they get B12 as well. But when you're vegan or plant-based, you wash everything, so you don't get the B12 as readily. So it's just advised that everyone who eats a vegan diet or a plant-based diet, please go on and get your B12. And then I do take my omegas when I'm not eating nuts and stuff like that. Now my son, very, very quickly, he's 39. He's 39, and he called me one day in the middle of the night. He lives in Hawaii, and he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, A1C 8.0. So like serious type 2 diabetes. And he allowed me to help him. And, the doctor wanted to give him all this medicine for cholesterol, and his triglycerides were over 400 too, and, a signal for heart disease as well. So he started the very next day, cut between plant-based and vegan, because he was a foodie. He was a full-on, omnivore foodie all of his life. We're in Louisiana. I'm a good cook. And, that's just the way his life always was. But he knew that this had to do with his life. And he started right away. 3 months, his A1C went down to 4.5. And his triglycerides were in a normal range, under 150. How cool is that? 6 months, his A1C was 4.4. And the other numbers were still just so wonderful. And so that's just 2 examples, okay? Now, I'm posting in the comment section something from a guy, Chuck with Brand New Vegan. He wrote out a wonderful explanation of the Mary's Mini. And so instead of my trying to type something out for you, I'm going to post his document, and it thoroughly explains it. There's also a video of Dr. McDougall and Mary McDougall talking about it as well. But the basics of a Mary's Mini is this. You pick a starch, you stick with that starch for 10 days. I'm going to do potatoes. And you eat all of the non-starchy vegetables that you want to satiety, okay? And that's it. And so, but when you look at the document from Brand New Vegan, you can look at all of the intricacies. I'll come on one more time within the next couple of days before we get started, and just sort of reiterate some things. But listen, good luck to everybody, and I'm looking forward to starting this on Monday.